recently?
I think the biggest thing that in Deontay's last 2 games is patience. You know, teams have been switching pick and rolls, and you know, once he gets a mismatch, I think his eyes got a little too wide earlier, and he just, you know, he went right away instead of letting our spacing get where it needs to be, and then attacking. And he's done a phenomenal job getting in the lane, pulling up for his jump shot, instead of trying to go all the way and finish over big guys. You know, so I think patience has been a big key in Deontay's game.
It's one of those weird things where, you know, actually slowing down helps the kid play better. That's pretty much what it is?
No doubt about it. He's, you know, on offense, you need to play a little slower. You know, defense, play fast. And, you know, offense, on the offensive end, you need to slow yourself down and make sure you're making the right read and the right play. And, you know, the thing that he did such a great job of against Baylor was he was getting in there. They were helping off the other guys, and he was doing a great job finding them and hitting the shooters in stride instead of taking that one extra dribble, which had led to some turnovers. So that was key as well.
This might be putting the cart before the horse, but does he have pro prospects?
I think he does. You know, Deontay's got the size, he's got the quickness, he's got the stamina. His defense has been great. He came over after one of the timeouts and said, "Coach, put me on list area stuff." We put him on him and did a tremendous job of slowing him down. So yeah, I think he does. Yeah, his shooting has really improved this year. You know, you can't back off him. You can't just dare him to shoot because he'll make you pay. You know, as fast and quick as he is, as much as he thrives in an up-tempo system, you know, that really fits the NBA game.
You made a plea back to the fans back in April. You got hired about getting the atmosphere back in the building. How do you judge that for the first 2 Big 12 home games?
Yeah, the atmosphere has been unbelievable. You know, I think having Johnny in the building against Kansas was a big help with that. He came out, got the crowd, you know, got him off to a great start. Coming out, the energy in the building was phenomenal. And then it came back against Baylor again. And, you know, it's getting back to where it used to be. You know, the fans are on their feet for most of the game. You know, they're loud, they're energetic, and, you know, I can't tell you how much that helps, how much it disrupts the other team when we have that type of energy in the building.
Calvin Godfrey's been playing well lately. Is he where you thought he'd be, ahead of where you thought he'd be? Or?
You know, he's with his body and you know, us playing now in the Big 12 against more physical players. Calvin, you'll probably see more action out of him as we go on. You know, Jordan's going to have to play some minutes too because of his size. You know, I thought Calvin's energy was off the charts. You know, he and Boo both I thought were huge keys in the run that we made to get the lead against Baylor going into halftime. You know, Calvin was on the offensive glass. He was getting extra possessions. You know, he seemed to be getting every rebound on the defensive end. 9 points and 7 rebounds in 18 minutes. That's a pretty productive night for a guy like that. So he's, you know, the great thing about Calvin, he's been putting in extra work. He comes back at some nights and gets in an extra workout on his own. He was working out around chairs the other day when I left the office. And, you know, just putting in the time. You know, we threw it into him a couple times when we got the mismatch as well. You know, we got to make teams pay when they do switch. It can't be Deontay going one-on-one all the time. You know, we got to make him pay inside as well. The fact that we're able to throw the ball into Calvin, you know, at 6'7.5", 6'8", as wide as he is, you know, we can have a pretty good advantage down there.
How was Scott Sunday morning? I don't know when the last game was.
Yeah.
How was his arm feeling?
Scott felt pretty good the next morning. You know, the treatment plan is working. You know, he's got a little bit of a bone spur in there, so it's going to be a little bit inconsistent on how he feels from day to day. But he responded very well. Came back that next morning, talked to our trainer, Vic Miller, said he felt great. We're going to continue the treatment plan. Hopefully he'll be okay on the road trip these next 2 games.
Fred, can you talk a little bit about the matchup problems that Jamie presents for opposing defenses?
Well, yeah, I mean, Bill Self said it after the game, but the stretch 5 is one of the toughest positions to guard in the game of basketball. And he, you know, he's showing that he's shooting the ball with a ton of confidence right now. And, you know, when Jamie goes out there and knocks down his first couple shots, it's a great sign for us. He pulls the other team's length away from the basket, which helps Deontay get in there to finish. You know, it helps our offensive rebounding position because the big guy's chasing Jamie around the perimeter. You know, and he's showing off the dribble a little bit too. You know, he got to the basket against Kansas. He showed a 1 dribble pull up, and you know, he's been awesome. I mean, for Jamie to go out there and play with this much confidence his senior year has been huge for us all season.
You, I mean, you've got Royce White coming in next year, and you're going to have a little different look to your team. But do you think you want to try to continue to have a guy like that?
Absolutely. And you know, Melvin is a a guy that, can space the floor some. He works on the shot a lot, and, it'll be a big summer for him, really improve his range. Listen, all the seniors that we have on this team will be missed tremendously next year. Jamie as much as any of them, just because of his ability to space it. Helps Scott get free, helps Jake, it opens up the lane for Jake. So having that big man, whether it's your 4 or 5 man, be able to space the floor, run pick and rolls with it, it's a tough matchup for the other team.
What about,
he almost didn't, get us another chance here. The fact that he got granted that medical register really pays dividends.
Yeah, how do you want to think about that? I'm not sure where we'd be right now if we didn't have Jamie out there.
what about Oklahoma State?
Yeah, big, strong, tough team. Moses inside is a beast. Pilgrim is a matchup problem in there. Keith Page shoots it when he's open. You can pretty much count it. Ray Penn is a quick little point guard. Just from playing in that building, it's a tough place to play. Fans are right on top of you, and it's a tough building that you want to get a win. We need to try to go out there and play with poise. They're going to pressure us. They're going to deny us on the wings. We need to go out there and execute our offense and hopefully get some open shots. It's going to be an important game for us to knock those down.
You played 2 true road games already at Iowa and Virginia. They're kind of padded with some nice home opponents between. How about now going on the Big 12 schedule on the road back to back? Is this kind of where it could get dicey with depth and injuries and everything down?
Well, yeah, it's tough anytime you go on the road. Northern Iowa was a very tough test, obviously, for us. Losing there, Nebraska was a tough road test. But like you said, we have one on the road, and that does give us some confidence that we can go out there and take care of business. It's going to be a battle. We know that. We know it's going to be physical. We got to try to match their toughness and keep them off the boards. Similar to going into the Baylor game, I was concerned with their length. After the initial few minutes, we did a pretty solid job of holding their own in the glass. We're going to have to do that again. Against Oklahoma State. Anytime you go into the other team's building, transition is going to be a key. And then trying to find a way to match their toughness. And if we do that, hopefully we'll have a chance at the end of the game.
Do you have any fond memories of trips to Stillwater?
No. Well, I went on a nice scouting trip, had a good meal at Eskimo Joe's last year, but that's about it.
You talked about the physicality of the Big 12 a couple of times. Is that something you guys are able to replicate in practice, or do you kind of have to?
No, we cannot replicate that in practice. We can't take a chance to get one of our top 7 hurt. We can't. I'd love to. I'd love to do toughness drills. You see some teams are out there probably right now putting on football pads and doing charge drills. We can't. We just don't have that luxury because we don't have depth. We go out there. We do a lot of mental practices. Try to get them prepared mentally for what they're going to have to go up against. Now we will do some. You have to do some live, to keep sharp and right now it's not about us going long. It's about having short, intense practices, but you get a lot out of it. We can't go out there and have marathon practices. Jamie's banged up with his elbow, Scotty with his elbow, Jamie with his ankle. Deontay woke up this morning throwing up, so we got some issues going on right now. But you find a way to get through that. We're not the only team in the country that's dealing with injuries right now. But our margin is pretty thin. We really got to be careful. We can't lose guys in practice.
Is that your pro mentality? I mean, when you were in the pros, did they practice, like you're practicing, or did they practice really intense and get after it?
Randy, different coaches had different philosophies on that. Larry Brown, if we had a bad stretch, we'd be out there for 3 hours. He was very tough and very demanding when we weren't playing well. Other coaches I had, the longest here and there once the season starts, probably an hour and a half. So I think for us it's more from a depth standpoint. We just can't take the chance of losing somebody in a practice situation. So we're going to go out there. Again, we're going to work hard. We're going to be focused. It's going to be intense, but we're going to get out of there. And then guys have to come, get their own shots up and work on their games. But for us, it's just it's hard to do right now.
Deontay have the flu, or?
Yeah, we think so. Chris Allen had it last week, and hopefully it's not one of these things that runs through the whole team.
Yeah.
You mentioned Marshall Moses. So what makes him such a good player?
Marshall Moses is just his physicality. He's got a big, strong body. He's built a lot like Royce. Royce will play him in practice here the next few days, and he uses his body very well. He posts deep. We got to try to do our work early and try to push him away from the basket a little bit. throw some double teams at them. Try to keep them off balance with some different defenses, but it's tough because they shoot the ball well from the perimeter as well.
Your team's making more than 9 3-pointers a game. Did you anticipate that it would be this big of a tool?
I knew the 3-point line would be something we'd have to try to take advantage of. That was going to be the strength of our team. With Scott and Jamie shooting the ball as well as they are, and Jake having the ability to shoot from behind the line, and then Deontay as well. Like I said, he's really worked on his shot and made himself a legitimate 3-point threat. Then Melvin can step out there. So we've got 5 legitimate 3-point shooters in our starting unit that come off with Boo Boo who can shoot us some. Calvin's probably the only guy that I don't want shooting. He shot a 70-footer up there. I cringed a little bit. But yeah, we knew coming in that was going to be what we'd have to do to win games. And our guys have bought into it. The big thing's a shooter. You just got to step up there with confidence and a lot of repetition, a lot of practice on it, which we do. We shoot 3 a ton in practice. And that's my big thing is trying to give these guys as much confidence as possible. So when they step up, they know it's a good shot.
Well, is that the way the oldest one play here at Iowa State, or is it just a product of what the team you inherited?
Well, I think you have to play to your strengths, and right now this is the strength of our team. Next year was Scott coming back, and Chris Allen, and Chris Babb, Tyrus McGee coming in as an excellent 3-point shooter. I envision lineups where we go small with Chris Babb at 4, and just space it with those guys, and then put a guy like Royce White in the post. It's going to be a tough lineup to play against. A lot of mismatches on the other end, but I like 3 against 2. On that end of the floor.
You're about 2 weeks into Big 12 play. Has anything stood out to you as a surprise league-wide?
Well, I think probably people would say Colorado is a team that's probably surprised some people. We just got done watching the Colorado-Oklahoma State game, and they're playing with confidence. I mean, they're out there, they're firing up shots. They're going out there without any fear. They're playing fast, up-tempo. It's an exciting style of ball that Tad Boyle has brought to Colorado. So yeah, Colorado's been the team I think has probably been the surprise of people. It's other than that, everybody's bunched up. You got a couple teams on the top undefeated, but then you got a lot of teams where we are right now. So this is an important week for us with these 2 road games and then 2 coming home, and we need to try to find a way. We lost the one home game. We want to come out and take care of business at home every game. We lost one, now we got to go out and steal one on the road.
Fred, I know we've talked before about the players have kind of galvanized around. You're right, have fun on the board every day. They kind of like that. They come around that. Players also have responded well. They've said to the positive reinforcement, the way you go about teaching them and motivating them. How did you develop that kind of positive style when dealing with the kids and getting them, to kind of learn things and do the things you want to do?
I think a big thing is how how I was coached. The coaches that I liked playing for were the coaches that were positive with you. If you do that, if you give them something, go out there and talk about having fun. I feel it's easier to hold them accountable. And we do. I think sometimes people say players coach, and it's also mistaken as being a soft coach. And it's not that. I mean, we hold these guys accountable behind closed doors all the time. And these guys when they go out there, they got to know the plan. And if they're not executing it, they'll be held accountable. And if they're not going to do it, then there's somebody else that's that's going to be ready to play. Like Calvin the other night, Boo Boo's showing me that he can go in there and get minutes. Once we're in between those lines for those 40 minutes, we're all in there together. We're going to go out there and play hard and have fun.
Is it one of those things where if they feel more comfortable, it's easier for them to kind of accept what you're going to say, especially if it's something harsh, like you have to improve this or that?
Yeah, I just think it's easier to go out there and play, knowing the coach has confidence in you as a player. If you can sense it when a coach doesn't trust you, and you got to have the trust in your players. You put them out there, you put out the game plan, and trust that your players are going to go out there and execute it. Trust that they're going to take good shots. And, for the most part, our guys have done that all year.
Last question, Coach.
Are you concerned about DG, or is it just?
We'll know more this afternoon. So, asking that question here in a few hours. But, right now, hopefully, it's a virus that gets out of the system here in the next 24 to 48 hours.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
And thank you.
Thanks.